You know that old saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it? Well, have you ever really stopped to think about what that means? Today, we're going to do just that. We're going to see how just a few small, deliberate shifts in your language can completely change the way people see you. So let me just ask you this straight up. Do your words actually match what you're trying to achieve? You might want to sound confident or collaborative or polite, but does the language you're using really get that message across? It's something we don't always think about.
And that little gap between what we mean and how we're heard, that's exactly what we're going to close today. You'll see how even changing a single word can make all the difference, especially in a professional setting.
To do this, we're going to look at the difference between what we'll call simple English and standard English. Now, this is really important. This isn't about right versus wrong. Not at all. It's about thinking of language as a toolkit and learning how to pick the perfect tool for the job at hand.
So, what's the difference really? Well, simple English is our everyday language. It's direct, it's casual, it gets the job done. Standard English is more formal, it's more precise. It's the language you'd use in important meetings or reports or professional emails. Situations where every little bit of nuance and tone is absolutely crucial.
All right, so let's put this whole toolkit idea to the test where it matters most for a lot of us, at work. We're going to look at a few ways to elevate your communication and sound way more competent and professional.
Okay, take this first one. You could say, the job is hard. It's direct, sure, but it can also kind of sound like you're complaining. The alternative? The task is considerably demanding. Now that sounds powerful because it's analytical. It shifts the focus from your personal struggle to an objective look at the task itself. It invites problem solving, not just sympathy.
Here's another one. That's a bad idea. It's so blunt, right? It just shuts the conversation down. But saying that proposal seems ill-advised is way more diplomatic. See how the focus shifts from a harsh judgment to a real concern about the proposal? It's constructive, not just critical, and it keeps that door open for more discussion. Now, let's say you're leading a team meeting. You could say, start the meeting now. It works, but it might sound a bit abrupt, almost like you're barking an order. But check this out. Let us commence the meeting immediately. It just carries this formal, authoritative tone. It signals leadership and purpose, but without being aggressive at all.
Ooh, this is a great one. It's subtle but so powerful. Someone asks you to look into an issue. You say, I'll check it. That sounds pretty casual, right? Like you're just going to take a quick glance. But what if you said, I will investigate the matter? That suggests a really thorough, methodical, professional process. It tells everyone you're taking it seriously and inspires way more confidence.
Okay. So let's apply this same thinking to how we ask for things. Being professional isn't just about stating facts. It's also about how you interact with people, especially when you need something. A small tweak can turn a simple question into a real display of poise.
So, saying please help me is totally fine, but it can kind of put you in a position of need. Now, compare that to, I would appreciate your assistance. This changes everything. The focus is no longer on your need, but on your gratitude. It shows respect for the other person's time and effort. It's a request between peers, not a plea for help.
This one is all about precision. Asking someone to explain can feel a bit broad. It can almost sound like you're questioning them. But asking, could you please clarify your statement? Well, that's a very specific and targeted request. It's less demanding, and it makes it much easier for the other person to give you exactly what you need without getting defensive.
And we can see this exact same pattern right here. Instead of a demanding, give me more details, you've got the polite ask, please provide additional information. Instead of a blunt, tell me what happened, you ask for a structured story. Please describe this sequence of events. See? The standard phrases are always more respectful and more precise.
All right, let's talk about confidence. This is a big one. The language you use doesn't just reflect your confidence, it can actually build it. It can totally change how much authority and conviction people hear in your voice and in your ideas. This is where word choice becomes a real strategic tool.
So here's a crucial point about adding weight when you agree with someone. I think you are right is fine, but it's a little weak, isn't it? It's just your personal opinion. But I concur with your assessment. Now that suggests you've carefully considered all the facts and have come to the same professional conclusion. It's a powerful statement of solidarity.
Just listen to that phrase for a second. I concur with your assessment. It has weight, it has real conviction, it elevates your support from just a simple opinion to a full-on professional endorsement. It makes the other person feel validated, and it strengthens your own position at the same time.
This is such a fantastic example of taking the personal out of a disagreement. That's not true feels like a personal attack, right? But phrasing it as that statement is factually inaccurate completely removes the emotion. It moves the conversation from a potential fight toward an objective look at the facts. It's actually more powerful because it's less personal.
And finally, accountability. Saying it's my fault is basically just admitting you made a mistake. But saying I accept full responsibility is a statement of leadership. It doesn't just admit the error, it shows maturity, accountability, and that you're already focused on finding a solution. That's what leaders do.
Okay, so we've looked at a whole bunch of examples. How to sound more professional, more polite, more confident. So what's the big takeaway here? How do we actually start putting these words to work in our own lives?
It really just boils down to these core ideas. First, remember that language is a tool, so choose the right one for the job. Second, context is everything. What works with your close team might not work with a brand new client. Third, those small changes in phrasing can create a huge impact on how you're perceived. And finally, just making a conscious choice about your words, that's a real power skill.
And let's be absolutely crystal clear about this. The point isn't to use big words just to sound smart or to be complicated. Not at all. The goal is simply to be more effective. It's about making sure your communication is clear, precise, and achieves exactly what you want it to.
So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. Based on everything we just explored, which simple phrase that you probably use every single day are you going to choose to elevate? The power, as you can see, is in your words.